Well, several obnoxious left-wing activists tailed Senator Kyrsten Sinema from a classroom at Arizona State to the restroom and harassed her outside a stall. Now, I'll admit I've done this myself while drunk, but it had nothing to do with politics. And everything to do with a missing bag of weed that Julie Banderas still owes me. But instead of giving the senator some privacy, they just continued their business while she did hers.
Sinema, we want to talk to you real quick. Can we talk to you real quick?
Hi, actually, I am heading out.
But right now is a real moment that our people need in order for us to be able to talk about what's really happening. We need a Build Back Better plan right now.
We knocked on doors. We need solutions. The Build Back Better plan has the solutions that we need.
We knocked on doors for you to get you elected, and just how we got you elected, we can get you out of office if you don't support what you promised us.
Ugh, yeah, that'll win converts to your side. ASU's always been a party school, but now it's a potty school. But I'm impressed by the senator. If someone ever recorded me in the bathroom stall, the audio would sound like a Miles Davis solo. So, why were these activists so outraged? Well, they claim it's because she wasn't supporting Joe's Build Back Better agenda, but we know that's BS. They don't even read it. They don't care. But they chased her into the stall, assuming that she's a girl and won't fight back. But Kyrsten, if you're listening, we'll take you over Mitt Romney any day. You know how to make the tough choices, and you look better in thigh-high boots. Here's what the president had to say.
Mr. President, you're talking about how you have 48 Democratic votes right now. The other two have been pressured over the weekend by activists. Joe Manchin had people on kayaks show up to his boat to yell at him. Senator Sinema last night was chased into a restroom. Do you think that those tactics are crossing a line?
I don't think they're appropriate tactics, but it happens to everybody. From the only people it doesn't happen to are people who have Secret Service standing around them. So it's part of the process, yes.
What did he just say? Sometimes I think he's just playing Scrabble with us in his head. But this kind of invasive harassment is the type of discourse the left champions, from harassing diners to looting businesses. It's all part of the same strategy. And it's no coincidence they do some of their best work in the toilet. They don't give a crap even if you're giving a crap. Even worse, they refuse to spare a square. I don't know, if someone followed me into the bathroom holding a camera phone, I think it wouldn't end well.
Compliment to the hood, 24 hours a day, all my life.
Yes. First of all, who follows you into a bathroom filming you? Why can't they do it the right way and hide the camera? It's completely inappropriate, and why I always bring my sketching pad. But most people would clobber that creep, especially if you were with a kid at the time. Now, I assume the media would care about this invasion of privacy, except they always side with the protesters. That's why their ratings are heading into the toilet as well. I wonder where this could lead.
David Rooks for the Chess News Network. Sir, we're covering the Kyrsten Sinema story here at Arizona State University. Are you Kyrsten Sinema?
No, I'm not. This is a bathroom. Can I get some privacy?
No, there's no privacy here at Arizona State University.
You're at the University of Arizona.
Arizona State University, now identifying as the University of Arizona. You heard it here first. Back to you, Garn.
Yeah. We saw this coming. Remember, everyone is politically deputized by the Democrats now to get into your face. Science doesn't even matter, or in this case, biology. Last week, we told you how the CDC has gotten rid of the term woman when discussing pregnancy. That's both sexist and misogynist. And boy, have the broads been complaining. The Washington Post joined in, saying that reporters will now be expected to write pregnant individuals because not all pregnant people are women. The complete phrase, pregnant women and other pregnant individuals. Meaning, I suppose, men. But once again, a reminder to all you narrow-minded types, yes, men can get pregnant. I refer to the men who have ovaries and wombs and can fertilize an egg and bring a baby to term. Oh, wait, men don't have that stuff. And good luck trying. If you put a Mercedes engine in a Toyota, it's still a Toyota. But mention the science, you risk marginalizing someone. Who would that be? Good question. I hate to tell you, but who's getting marginalized here is women. Men now appear on Playboy. It's happened before, but this is different. Yeah, check this out, a half-naked dude on the cover. Hugh Hefner and 3 dead chicks must be turning in his grave. The only way you can get a joke out of 3 dead chicks is with that joke.
With Hugh Hefner.
Yes. I hope he gets a lot of exposure over this, but be careful, young man. You don't want to get pregnant. He's a social media influencer, apparently. Yeah, he's influenced me to order my own pair of those platform shoes. So tired of borrowing Dana's. But I get it. Playboy is a dead brand, and the only way to breathe it back to life is going woke, hoping you get attention from the Twitter mobs. And because it's a slow news day, we ate it right up. It was between that and a story about Biden putting his shoes in the microwave by accident. Or was it by accident? We don't know. Fact is, all of these things have one thing in common: vapid stupidity. The activists who chase people into bathrooms are stupid and vapid. The people who demand you say pregnant individuals are stupid and vapid. And anyone who took over Playboy magazine, stupid, 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 and vapid. They've decided to live in a nonsense world and drag the rest of us into it. All of this stupidity makes me miss Nashville, for it has a dome of impenetrable common sense that protects it from such idiocy. And we need to expand that dome, or at least move under it. True, I have grits in my pants and gravy in my navel, but it was worth it. Now I'm back, and it's good to see nothing's changed. And as a man who needs to use the bathroom, I couldn't be happier. I feel my water breaking, or maybe I just need to pee. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's a New York Republican, meaning he's the only New York Republican. Congressman and gubernatorial candidate Lee Zeldin. There you go. She's so Southern, she uses moonshine as mouthwash. Fox business anchor Dagan McDowell. She's such a diva, she'll get the person who wrote this fired. Fox News contributor Kat Timpf. He's so strong, even Monday won't mess with him. My massive sidekick in the NWA's World Television Champion, Tyrus. All right, Dagan, I am a little bit reluctant to ask you what you would do, but I assume I already kind of know what you would do, but let's say somebody followed you into the bathroom with a camera phone. It's not would they be killed, it's how quickly would they be killed.
I'm a lesson teacher. I like people who come for me. I like to teach them lessons. I also have the ability to make even like Andy Cuomo uncomfortable, or Harvey Weinstein, somebody like that. So if you follow me into the bathroom, we're gonna have a little chit chat while I cop a squat. And I'm leaving the stall door wide open, and I'm gonna film it. And I'm gonna sit there and go, can you go get me some TP? I ran out. Do you have any Tic Tacs? Because my breath isn't very fresh. I'm going to ensure that nobody ever follows anybody into a bathroom again.
All right, Tyrus,
I was going to say she was going to bless their heart, but that's pretty much the same thing. I don't know why we're calling these people activists. We need to stop giving these titles to these morons. They followed a woman into the bathroom. That's harassment. They're harassers. There's nothing political there. They're not doing any favors. There was nothing that they asked her that couldn't wait for her to come out of the bathroom. Right. Except they tried to intimidate a woman in the bathroom. The last time I checked, that is a big crime. To follow someone into the bathroom, recording them without permission, and basically threatening their job.
It's a dude,
in the most ignorant, in the most, well, he stopped because he sent the hitman in, but the one who gets genius of the day was the one that took literally 12 sentences to say, we knocked on doors and got to do
12 sentences.
I have never seen a political debate going, we have 1.5 knocks on doors opposed to the other team's votes, so we're in. They're idiots, but they believe they're so powerful because they were going to tweet this out. They think they're heroes because we call them things like influencers, activists. This has never been a safer time in this country to be an activist because why? There's no opposition. So yeah, they're real brave attacking this, and they're being put up as like they were doing something special. They're not. They're harassers, and we need to start calling them that.
Yeah. Does this happen to you? I mean, the weird thing about this, Congressman, is that we have obnoxious people on the right, but we don't do this stuff. Like, it's only directed because they believe that their heart and morality is in the right place. If you are a non-liberal, then you are somehow evil, and that excuses any behavior. Although I don't think they've thought that far in advance. I do think these are morons. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, this happened to me earlier today, not following me into a restroom. I'm just trying to go to my office, and they're all waiting outside, trying to create a moment to go viral. They were waiting outside of the front door of our building here inside of the city. The other extreme of this is when we had colleagues in the House of Representatives a few years ago where Steve Scalise almost lost his life. I mean, some of these people, they follow their leaders, the Maxine Waters who asks for confrontation. They take it to the next level, and thank God for the Capitol Police. They saved a whole bunch of people's lives. I mean, obviously the tactic is wrong. If I'm Sinema, I don't think this helps convince me to vote for their several trillion-dollar monstrosity of a bill. I think this would actually make me less likely to vote for the bill. But I mean, I would say that, as far as Sinema goes, regardless, she did make the best of what was situations.
You got my vote for governor for just saying. You know, Kat, there is an interesting thing about how there's a distorted, outsized view of their power because of their online presence. And you have a guy who portrayed himself as a moderate now just going woke because he thinks that these people, their opinions matter more, and there's no opposition.
Yeah, it was interesting to me that there was no even hesitation to follow her in there. And it wasn't just her in there.
Yeah.
You watch the full, like, there's people coming in and out of the other stalls.
That's true.
How are those people doing?
Yeah, that's true.
In Flushing.
In Flushing.
I was Flushing over the sound.
Yeah, nobody sees that and thinks like, oh, that's okay. There are people who see that and say it's okay because they have the same problem as those people do. They are in their little bubble and they think that they're doing the right thing. But if you're following someone into the bathroom, you've always gone too far.
Yes, that is true. No matter what bathroom it is, it doesn't even have to be a gendered bathroom. Can you beat somebody up in the bathroom?
Yes.
Thank you.
Wait, you can beat somebody up anywhere. You can beat somebody up anywhere.
No, but I mean, it's like if the police come, can that, it is against the law to film somebody in the bathroom. Is it against, let's say I find out that that's my wife in there and it's like there's a guy in there. I can clobber him, right?
There's a lot to work with, too. The commodes, the porcelain's very hard.
Oh, usually one shot, and then you set them on the toilet, and nobody will bother them.
Oh, yes.
And then you close the door, and then you walk away, and you go, let's go, Snoop.
Yeah. Come on, I don't think that was fiction.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.